Hello everyone and welcome to Percy's Park. In today's video I'm just going to have a waffle about some of the changes that I've made to the park off camera, which is something you shouldn't say at the intro of a YouTube video because it kills audience retention, but at the very least I now know I only have the people who actually care about the park. So let's go! So as I work on this park, which I've been doing for the past couple of months, I'm learning a lot of really cool stuff about Minecraft and data packs and all sorts of really interesting things you can do. And some of the older rides don't have some of the things that I've learned making the newer rides. And so sometimes when I've got some time, I go back and update some of the older rides. And I figured today in this video, I'm going to take you through some of the changes that I've made. Now in this video's description there will be a link to a playlist that has all the videos regarding Percy's Park. So if you find yourself wondering, hey, what's that ride about and how did you make it? Or that one, or that one, or that one, you can go check out the original video. So let's first have a look at It's Percy's World over here. This one has a bunch of changes. One very small change is that I've adjusted where exactly everybody is positioned in the boat. You shouldn't really notice that kind of thing. A bigger change is that where there used to be armor stands, I've now added custom models, which I thought was really cool. I started doing that in The Curse of the Rosalinda, and now it's here too. Look, there's another custom model. You may also notice that this boat turns a little bit smoother on the path. I also wanted to show you that I've added models over here. This is the dreamy version of the Guardian of the Grasslands, and of course there's me, and I don't really know what's going on, so I'm shrugging a little bit, having my shoulders up. There goes the boat without me. As you can see, I've got myself over here as well, and I'm running after wood, right? Whoop, in the boat again. A fun little fact about this ride: when I built it, this area, I actually accidentally summoned the warden. And then I considered keeping it around and just making it move about with the sounds. But then you'd have blindness all the time, and I figured that wasn't really a good idea, especially considering that the racetrack is over there. Can't really have blind racers, can you? And over here at the end, there is me and Wood waving you goodbye with a new custom model. Now the brooms over here, but these have also seen some new changes. If we hop in, you can see, of course, we get on the broom. That was already the case, but now if we are to get off, you can see that it will slowly lower us to the ground, and we get the actual broom in our inventory. So now we can right click and just continue riding our broom. Isn't that cool? It also means that you have to get your broom only once, and then you always have your broom around to fly. Oh, wait. And then you always have your broom around to fly. The reason, by the way, I made most of this off camera is because every single ride here has a technical challenge. And I didn't think the technical challenge for the brooms was very interesting to show in a video. I wanted to make it multiplayer compatible. With this one over here, I sort of added all the cards manually, and they are kind of hard-coded, as it were, into the data pack. But I wanted to make a way that multiple people can ride a ride without having anything hard-coded. And that was the challenge for the brooms over here. And it works! It was tricky, but it works! Now, speaking of technical challenges, most of these rides I make within a weekend, with a few exceptions. For example, this one took a little bit longer, and this one as well, because I made a whole video as an intro. That one got a whole trailer. And then there's Flight of the Phantom over here and the Carousel, both of which I did in one weekend. But generally speaking, I do most of these rides within a weekend, and sometimes that leads me to not do them quite right. The way data packs work, when these rides are active, they execute a whole bunch of commands, right? But I need Minecraft to not execute them when they are not active. And so what I do is I detect when the rides are active by seeing if there is a card in the world. The card that belongs to the ride. However, I accidentally made it so that it executes all those commands as the card. And then I accidentally made it so that it only executes them as all the cards. And as you can see, there are 5 cards here. And so it was executing all the commands 5 times, which is not a very efficient way of going about it. And it caused a lot of lag in this world, which was fun. And unfortunately, in order to fix that, I had to pretty much rewrite this entire thing. And so there are pretty much no changes here, except for that everything is different. Fun, isn't it? Same goes for Flight of the Phantom over here. This one has, of course, 8. Here, let's have a look. This one has 8 cards that is going around. And so originally it was executing everything 8 times. I fixed that here too. Storm Drop over here has received some significant updates as well. First of all, The cart has a slightly different model. It now has a dip in the middle so that you can see a little bit better. It used to be whoop, all straight. But now you can actually see the park, which I think is really cool. Another change that I've made is that you don't die on this ride anymore. It used to be that when you get down all the way to the ground here, the ride would kill you from fall damage. Which in the original video I didn't quite pick up on because I tested it all in creative. But then when I tried it in survival mode, it killed me. I did fix it, however, by just adding a little bit of water over here. I've made quite a few changes to Fairy Planting Squad because it had a few issues. You may notice over here it shows how many points you get by hitting what block. And it used to be possible to just get some really easy points. Oh, it is still possible! I haven't properly fixed it, it seems. Oops. Now let's have a look. How is it possible? It's not supposed to be. There's all sorts of barriers here. How did that one get through? What we can do is just add more barriers. Maybe that will work. Can we get it? Can we get it? It seems to be fixed. Oh, no, we can still get points. Okay, I don't know why that is. I'm going to have to look into that. Something that has changed is you can no longer shoot this powder through walls. It will simply get destroyed when you hit logs. And so you can't really randomly shoot through a wall and hope that it hits some points on the other side. That used to be possible. You can't shoot through black concrete anymore either, as you can see. And here in this final room, I've changed the castle to be sort of a little bit more impressive. It's very difficult to make a castle with one thick layer of blocks. There is also the Fairy Queen, which has a custom model now, just like all the models in It's Percy's World. And I think that's pretty much it for this ride. Now in the original video I mentioned that you can shoot through here, but of course that's no longer possible anymore. Then over here at the Curse of the Rosalinda I've made a few changes as well. You may see that the pile of gold is a little bit higher. I am doing this here to sort of guide people more naturally into this room. Originally there used to be fences and it felt just a little bit forced. Now, of course, it's still possible to go over here, but I don't think that's really a problem. I just kind of want to guide people into this room over here, right? Speaking of this room, it's also got a few changes. There is over here an extra button where you can get Captain Robert's hat. And of course, you can put it on, and now you're kind of like Captain Roberts, which is kind of cool, isn't it? Another change I've made is originally you could only be in this ride with one player at a time, which I thought was kind of stupid. What if I want to have my friends over? So now if I hit the button, of course, I will still be in this little boat alone, but something went wrong. Why did that go wrong? What happened? Oh no. Bug fixing time. Alright, I seem to have fixed it now. If I go in here and somebody else also wants to ride it, you can now. Look! Now there are 2 players in here, and both of these players are me, which is oddly confusing for someone named 100% me. Wait, how is this possible? What? Anyway, existential crisis aside, what I think is really cool is you can now see others fly through the park when you're in the ride. Can I spot myself? Look, there I am. And so if you want to ride this ride with other people, you now can. And at the end of the ride, you can wait on your friends on this little dock over here. Look, there I come. Boop, there you go. Now naturally, I thought that this was so incredibly cool, I wanted to implement it in the other rides as well. And so now you can also have multiple boats in It's Percy's World. And so if you wait a little bit, you can summon another boat. And the time will make sure that none of them interfere with each other. I think that's pretty cool. And you can also do it in the Fairy Planting Squad. Now, because of the way that I used to detect which powder belongs to what player, it meant that I had to rewrite all the shooting mechanics, which is essentially the entire ride. So I had to rewrite essentially the entire ride to make this happen. And you will not believe how happy I am that it's actually working now. It's stupid. Now those are the rides that have received significant upgrades, but there are a few other things that I should mention. You may have seen the short where I made the bubble wand. Whee! You may have also at some point seen the lightning wand, which does really weird things to my captain's hat. There is also a confetti wand now, which I thought was really cool. And all of the rides now include a feature where I can detect when the player's in a ride, and being in a ride means that none of these will work. I'm clicking right now, nothing is working. And so that way none of the rides get interrupted. I'm in the roller coaster, by the way, because I wanted to mention that I also wanted to bring that multiplayer thing to this ride, that you can have multiple trains going around the track at a time. I haven't really gotten around yet to doing that though. And when you're out of the ride, you can use them again. Whee! And those conclude pretty much all the changes that I've made to the rides that I haven't shown on camera. The most important ones anyway. And so let's talk a little bit about the future of Percy's Park. As I've mentioned, all of these rides have a technical challenge for myself. I'm currently thinking through an idea for a new ride that isn't technically a ride because you won't be riding around in anything. I'm working out an idea for more of a walkthrough experience. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it, but probably over here because I need a lot of space for it. And the focus of that attraction will be animatronics. As I've shown, I'm working with custom models in some places, right? But now I'd like to work on animating those, which I think could be so incredibly cool. And so I want to make an area that you can walk through and you can see characters as they go about their day-to-day lives. But they are all animated custom models, and I think that could be so incredibly cool. Now it's going to take me a lot of time to make that happen because I need a lot of assets, right? And how long it's going to take me exactly, I don't really know. But a video is coming, I promise. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed getting a little peek into the inner workings of the park. And I hope to see you for the next video. Bye. Confetti.